Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic, now full-time energy healer, author, and your resident science meets spirit nerd.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch, teacher of the craft, and owner of not one, not two, but 3 metaphysical businesses.
Together we dig into low-effort witchcraft, spirituality, and the science that backs it all up, all with humor, heart, and a sprinkle of chaos.
So whether you're a curious skeptic or a seasoned witch, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic. Hello, my friends. Howdy doody.
Howdy and a doody.
The world is scary right now.
Doesn't feel very howdy-doody in the world right now.
Yeah, it's been weird and hard to sit here and think about what magic moment we're going to share with you this week and what kind of magic we're going to talk about. And so we're going to do the only thing that we know how to do, which is give you some magic to melt ice. I think it's really hard and scary and easy to want to shut out what's going on right now. And we're here to encourage you to not do that. So we're going to give some mundane ways to combat ice in your community, in other communities, in the world, in the country. And also some magical ways to support yourself and to support other human beings.
Yeah. And if you want more kind of episodes in alignment with this, we do have the witchcraft to overthrow the government we did last fall? Was it a year ago? It feels like, was it a year ago?
Time isn't real. It was shortly after Trump was elected. So yeah, it was a year ago.
Holy fuck, dude. Anyways, if you haven't listened to that episode, that's another good one that can hopefully give you a little bit of hope in this hellscape of a world we're in. But we really wanted to do this episode because we have a platform, and frankly, it feels disingenuous to ourselves and our values and our practice to not take time and just talk about this and let you know that we're also feeling really discouraged by everything that's happening, and we also are choosing to lean into hope and choosing practices that hopefully feel doable, accessible, and at least are going to start nudging the needle forward in the direction that we want our country to go in. I know not all of you are in the US, but I'm pretty sure everyone around the world is like impacted by what we're seeing on the news, what's happening in the US. So there's some things that you can do outside of the US as well. And just a reminder, this is not a safe space. If you agree with ICE, if you believe in murdering people in the street or, you know, harming people just because of their quote unquote immigration status, if you believe people need paperwork to live and not be harmed, then this is not the podcast for you. And so we would invite you to gracefully exit, unsubscribe, and you don't have to announce your departure. Just know that witchcraft has always been political. We have always been political, and this is our fucking platform. And so if you don't agree with us, great. You can find another podcast for you. Good luck finding a witchcraft podcast that is not on this side, but just wanted to put that out there right away before you get too far into this and start writing your hate comments about how you don't like how political we are. Because guess what? It's our platform, and we're going to use it. And so you don't have to listen to it. Nobody's forcing you.
I implore you to leave your nasty comments below, because they change nothing about our behavior and all they do is boost us in the algorithms. So please announce your departure. Tell me how angry you are at me for supporting human rights and due process.
Yep.
I would love nothing more.
Yeah, you're right. And while you're out, why don't you just leave us a review about how you hate how political and anti-Trump our podcast has become? Because guess what? When people are reading those reviews, they're going, that's a podcast I want to listen to. That's the one.
You are just making it easier and easier for our people to find us. So you know what? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anyways.
Jinx.
We're going to have a little bit. We have to have a little bit of joy. We have to hold the whimsy and the rage. So Molly, what was your magic moment this week?
My magic moment this week is my book is coming out very soon, which feels like a really weird time to like be publishing a very whimsical book about magic.
Yeah.
Although I will say the book is openly anti-patriarchal and openly anti-capitalistic. So I feel like it is, kind of the perfect book for right now to find some joy and whimsy in the day-to-day. But really, my magic moment was I am getting to make PR boxes for my friends who are creators and really getting to I feel like I'm getting to the point of the book publishing where it feels really real and it's all happening, and I'm getting to have fun with it, designing the PR boxes and writing notes to my friends and, collecting everyone's addresses and surprising them with goodies and, ordering macarons for the for the launch party. And I don't know, it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel of this really, really hard thing that I've been working on for years, and I'm choosing to hold that joy despite the chaos that's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, I had the very distinctly niche experience of placing the order, because the way it works on the back end is, so Spellcrafter is doing the exclusive signed pre-order incentive for Mundane Magic, right? But I have to buy the books from the publisher, right? I can't do that until they're printed.
Yeah.
And so I've been collecting these pre-orders, seeing this number climb, and I have never ordered so many copies of a single book. Normally, we order between 6 and 10 copies of a book to put in the store. And so placing this order for hundreds and hundreds of books and having to call people and be like, hey, the author is flying to my house to sign these books. Can you confirm the date that it will ship so that I know that it's here? It just has been such a strange experience. I've never placed such a large order from a publisher outside of when we were opening.
You're like, no, I promise I didn't accidentally write 2 extra zeros.
Yeah, literally. I'm somebody has to acknowledge that this is obscene if I'm just a bookstore. This has to be easy to sort out, right? And so there was this part on the portal, because I couldn't get anybody to email me back, which is another story. But it was is this for an event? And I was like, yes. So I checked that. It's technically it isn't. I mean, it's going to be an event when we're shipping these bad boys out.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so funny.
It reminds me, I have to book my flights today. Don't let me forget.
If you're listening to this episode and Molly hasn't booked her flights, everybody boo her in the comments.
Boo. We'll get a review that says, I hate how political they are and I hate how Molly waits until last minute to book her flights.
Yeah. Doesn't she know they get more expensive?
What was your magic moment?
Mine feels very apt for the time. My magic moment is that I am on an SSRI.
Yay!
It's been about a week and a half, and
how we feeling?
It's a really strange time to be monitoring your mental health.
Yeah.
Long story short, not to trauma dump on you all in my magic moment. In the last year, I've started to exhibit some really unhealthy anxiety behaviors. The very professional Molly Donlin therapist has diagnosed me with OCD.
You said, I think I have OCD. And I said, what do you think so? And you told me all these things. And I was like, that sounds like textbook OCD to me.
Jury's out.
I don't want to get it twisted.
No, I'm joking. Get diagnosed by professionals. I just am making a funny because it's a very not funny situation and I have to laugh about it. But those specific behaviors have gone down extremely. I would do a lot of location checking to check on the people that I love safety. I would convince myself that something terrible had happened if someone I love was in a public place. I would start refreshing. I would Google the news. I would look up St. Pete shooting and I would just refresh to see if something, I would look at active call lists and things like that. And that behavior has gone away almost entirely.
Yay.
So I feel we talk about holding joy and rage and all those things. And for a long time, I felt like I didn't have access to holding joy at all about anything. And feeling like I have at least the access to search for the joy and find it in small moments has been life-changing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when my SSRI finally kicked in and I was like, oh my God, I have the ability to think about things that aren't my dog's dying in horrible, horrible ways.
Yeah. And it really, like, it's opened my eyes to how kind of bad I let it get. Where I was like, oh, that's really not normal. Because I held on to this idea that if I was not anxious about the safety of everyone, that I was like abandoning them in some way.
Yeah, it's tricky when your brain starts to rationalize it.
Where like, if I'm not worried, then do I care? And so it's been really, really nice to have some relief from that. And I have felt so spiritually connected in the last week in a way that I have not felt in months and months. I've had a really, really hard time connecting to my practice. And I've had 2 dreams about Linda in the last week, which hasn't happened since she died.
Wow.
And like, I know that that's a big way that she communicates with me. And so it's been nice to have access to things that I haven't had access to for a while.
Yeah.
Live, love, SSRIs.
Yes.
Take your meds.
Yep. Look at that. We're really weeding people out. We're like, we're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about how pro-medication we are.
I know.
This is the perfect episode.
Right? We were just trimming the fat, you guys. Trimming the fat.
What else can we talk about?
I know. I'm like, what other controversial opinions do we hold?
So many. But let's talk about melting ice.
Yeah. So I feel like it's important to start with the mundane here because I think that the magic holds no weight without the practical action.
Yeah.
And I don't say that. Like, there are obviously lots of circumstances in which you can't do things on this list. And we've tried to make a kind of a comprehensive list for if you can't do this, do that, you know? So just know, like, if you don't hear something on this list that is super actionable for you, I'd be surprised. But if magic is what is all that you feel like you have access to right now, feel free to start there. But I would encourage you to search in the mundane for things that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Even something as simple as, like, you know, I have friends who are working kind of like on the front lines of what's happening here in Maine, in Portland in particular. And even something as simple as just like checking in, like, hey, do you need anything today? Like, can I order your Instacart groceries? Can I, you know, we had a huge snowstorm. So it's like, can I shovel your driveway? Like, those little things too. Like, I know a lot of times the big ones involve money and resources. And so don't feel like you need money or resources or to put yourself at risk in some way. Like, if protesting doesn't feel safe, there are alternatives. So our first one is in particular for folks who are in the States, but it is to call your representatives or reach out to them in some way. Words are spells, and also, like, it really does make a difference. And so we have a couple of resources for you to make that easier. So the first is 5calls.org. So the number 5, we'll put these in the description of this episode as well. But this will get your contact info for who you should call. It will also give you scripts on what to say. If you are nervous about making phone calls, a tip that I learned over this weekend is to call after hours and leave a voicemail, because they still have to log those as a call, but you don't have to worry about, like, if you get phone anxiety. Or an alternative, if making phone calls does not feel like within your means, sending emails or filling out contact forms, they also have to log and respond to those. So there's a website called ResistBot who will help you send texts and emails, find the contact information, all of that. And again, with scripts and things of that nature. So figuring out, like, which representative to call, you can use both of those sites. They're super, super easy. And finding which option works best for you and then, like, doubling down on it. So this could be like every day during your lunch break, you make a call or you send an email, or maybe it's, you know, once a week you send an email, send a contact form to every single one of them, like, whatever the case may be, putting it on your calendar and following up with that action and doing it multiple times.
Yeah. And next on our list is to share resources. So, like the resources Molly just listed, this can be on social media or in person, like when you're talking to your friends about that feeling of hopelessness and what do we do? And I don't know how I can help. Offering those easy, actionable things, sending them this episode, sending them to other creators online who are sharing their own resources. There's a website specifically called Stand with Minnesota that has a really comprehensive list of like people that you can help, ways that you can donate. Sharing that with people. There's like a huge wide array of, there's even like abortion funds in Minnesota that you can donate to on this website for people. Highly recommend sharing that. Something that I also was thinking about to add a little bit of magic to this is when you share things like on your Instagram story, creating a sigil of amplification and drawing it underneath, like moving the image away, drawing the sigil and then moving the image back over top of it. A sigil of amplification or a sigil of protection.
Yeah, or both. Yeah, and I would say for sharing resources, make sure you vet the resource that you're sharing. I personally don't like to share resources that could trigger re-traumatization. So you won't see me sharing like the videos that have come up over the past couple of weeks and things like that. I prefer to share more actionable stuff. And so what I like to do is I like to basically look at the account that is sharing the resource, but I also like to look at who is liking the account, because there are some big like political and witchy accounts that I trust and respect. And so if they share a post, like a post, then I'm like, okay, this must be legit, and kind of look at where they're directing people and things like that. I think also following the agencies and like nonprofits that are supporting the causes. So I really like Amica, the Amica Center. We've donated them in the past through our Patreon. I just set up a recurring donation with them, and they're a really good one. They share like a lot of really good resources, but they don't share like those videos that could be like traumatizing. So just know your boundaries of like what you can tolerate on your feed and follow accordingly and share accordingly.
Yeah. Something that you said about seeing who is interacting with accounts is something that is really important and made me think like that is also how the people in your life might view you. So like remembering that what you share is an endorsement.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
and what you like
and what you participate in, and also what you don't share and what you don't participate in it says things too. You know, I've really, really started to pay attention to who is carrying on life as usual right now.
Yeah. And it's hard too, because it's like so many creators that I follow, like, this is their livelihood. Like, this is our livelihood. And so it can be really scary to, you know, pause your, you know, day-to-day business and, you know, divert your energy, divert focus to causes like this. But just know that, like, your business will be fine. And also, like, the other day I was going to shop at a small business and I could not tell where they stood on this issue. And it literally discouraged me from buying from them because I was like, if I can't tell immediately where you stand, then I'm going to make an assumption about where you stand.
Yeah. My mom and I always say, if you are for everybody, you are for nobody. And it's always been really, really important to me that Spellcrafter is a safe space. And so I will, like, if you're a business owner and you are feeling some fear around speaking up, I will offer that I will stand as testament as a successful business owner who is very, very open about our beliefs.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. The next one, again, we're going to put an asterisk, like, if this is not possible for you, we totally get it. But as much as you can, divest spending from those big retailers into small businesses and into your local community. I know this is not possible for everyone because of accessibility and pricing and all of that. But wherever you can, even if it's just like, you know, if you're going to get a cup of coffee, instead of going to your Starbucks, going to, the local mom and pop coffee shop. Or, for me over the last year, I've talked about this a couple of times, but I have, wherever I can, stopped buying books on Amazon and started special ordering them from my local bookstore, or if they can't find them, getting them on Libro FM for audio, which then supports my local bookstore. And if I can't get them there, then going to Barnes & Noble, because they're the only big box that is trying to take down Amazon. So maybe you have a tiered approach where it's like, okay, instead of going directly to Amazon for the thing, I'm going to check my local X store. And if they don't have that, okay, what is the next kind of like tier up for something? And I have found, like, I haven't shopped at Target in over a year. I don't miss it. I rarely shop at Walmart. Don't miss it. And you know what? I'm now really good friends with my local bookstore. So and we just booked an event together for my book. So
there's pros in all directions.
Pros in all directions. But yeah, divesting your spending from those big retailers into the small businesses and into your community at large. It's huge. It really does help.
Yeah. Next on our list is to donate. Like I said, the Stand With Minnesota donation directory, the Mika Center, the ACLU. I know that it feels like donations only matter if they're in large amounts. That is just not true. If we only, like, if the only donations that mattered were the people who could donate $500, $1,000, those organizations would make so much less money than if those donators went away and everybody who was able to donate $1, $5, $10, $20 once a month did that.
Yeah. Here's the thing, to put it into perspective. If everyone listening to this episode donated $1 a month to one of these organizations, they would make over $1 million this year.
Yeah.
So it's huge. And especially if you can do recurring donations, even if it's $1, even if it's 25 cents, it does add up. And the recurring donations really help nonprofit organizations plan, right? Because like when we have big news cycle things, they often get an influx of donations, but then what do they do 6 months from now when the news settles and those services are still needed? So when they have that recurring revenue of, again, even if it's 1,000 people donating $1, they know that, okay, 6 months from now, we can plan to have $1,000. And that can really help. As someone who worked in nonprofits for almost a decade, that can really help them make plans around hiring decisions or making plans around grant funding or making plans around which services they're going to keep and which they're going to discontinue. So even if it's $1, even if it's 50 cents, even if it's 10 cents, right? Like I always talk about this book my mom read me as a kid, but it's called If Everybody Did. And it was supposed to be like inspiring me to take my muddy shoes off in the house. But really, it's the whole premise is like, okay, if we all donated $1, again, like that organization would make $1 million this year. That's a huge, huge, huge impact.
And if you can't donate, you can host a fundraiser, especially if you're someone who offers spiritual services. If you can't donate your money, you can donate your time and offer your spiritual services in exchange for proof of donation to an organization in support.
Yeah. This is an awesome idea. Other ideas, right? Like if you're doing abundance workings, you can set the intention that whatever abundance is received goes to that organization. So I will often do this. I'll make a money bowl specifically for an organization. And every time I find a quarter, $1, I make a sale that I wasn't expecting. I donate that money for like the duration that the bowl is active. And that's a really nice way to, again, kind of merge that mundane with the magical.
Yeah. And you can also make an abundance spell for these organizations or, something that you can do, especially if you experience some scarcity or some fear financially, is make that donation, print out the receipt, and then put that in your money bowl with the intention of when that money comes back to you, it will go back into that organization.
Yeah. Love that. Another great one is to research the mutual aid coordination in your local community. So I know in Portland, Maine right now, there are mutual aid organizations that are doing everything from court accompaniment to meal delivery to phone calls to protesting and everything in between. So finding what is happening in your community and supporting that cause however you can. And literally there are so many different ways you can get involved with this. I just saw, because I'm on crochet land, that there is a red hat pattern fundraiser happening. So you buy this pattern to knit or crochet, and you can crochet that hat and donate it to a protester, or, donate the pattern, like funds get donated directly to these mutual aid organizations. So there's lots of different community-led options that are happening all around that you can research, whether it's in your local community or looking into the communities that are impacted.
Totally. I think that that's the most important thing that we can do right now is get involved with the people who are near us, like with our neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest act of resistance, I think. Like what this administration wants is for us to feel isolated and separate and to see each other as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in front of someone working towards a common goal, you can see, first of all, like the impact of that, right? Like you can see the impact and the change that you can make as one single person.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see, like you see your neighbors as people.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally.
And last on our list on the mundane is to fucking vote. I know.
Please.
You hear it all the time and it feels useless. That's why I say it's so important to see the small impact that one human being can make, especially in your local elections, the ones that feel small, the ones that feel silly, the ones that you like don't really want to take the time because it doesn't feel like it really matters. You know who is showing up to every single election? People who fucking love ICE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're showing up no matter what to every single election, doing the most. And we have to be as committed, if not more, than they are.
Yeah. And your local elections really do matter, right? Like it's the difference between ICE coming into your community and your mayor, city council, police chief going, oh, fuck no. Like there is, I saw this amazing like Instagram post where police in one of the towns that is being impacted by ICE right now in Maine, they were actually driving immigrant kids home to protect them from ICE rather than just like helping ICE find them, right? Like that is the difference in your local elections. It's so, so, so important. Even if you're like, what the hell is city council? Go to a city council meeting, like find out what they actually do. Find out who these people are, like cause a stink, be the squeakiest wheel. A lot of city council meetings are still being broadcast, oftentimes on like Facebook, which is wild, but at least in small town Maine, a lot of them are broadcast on Facebook. So you can watch them, download the minutes, like stay informed, cause a stink, right? Like show up, email your city councilors. Here's the thing is I used to work directly with city council in a city in Maine. I'm not going to say which one, but those were people with full-time jobs. And they were not getting paid for their work in city council. And they did not get nearly as many emails as I think they should have from their constituents. So blow up their inboxes, fill their voicemails, show up to city council. Do not let them ignore you. Yeah. Say hi to them in the grocery store. Make them look you in the eye and tell you their belief on these things. Where do they stand? Yeah, because the people that you elect into local office are the people who are going to be on the front lines with you or against you. Yeah, make them look you in the eye. Make them fucking uncomfortable with the choices they make if they're not on the right side of history. And let them know that you'll continue to hold them accountable. Yep. Should we talk some magical practices? Yeah, let's talk about some magic. Molly and I actually were talking about magic that we could do from home when you start to feel useless. And I kind of came up with this protection spell that can be either for protesters, for the immigrant community. For the thing is, it's what frustrates me so much is it's not even about the immigrant community anymore. No. Yeah. And it's the community of people who are not white. Yeah. Yeah.
Really, and at this fucking point, it's the community of anyone who is not an ICE agent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I've been setting the intention of like, it's for those who are being targeted.
Yeah. But take a black 7-day candle, take a Sharpie or like a paint pen or any kind of like writing material, or honestly, you can just use your finger. You can use oil, draw sigils of protection, pentacles. You can make one specifically to protect those who are being targeted by ICE all over the glass. And then you're going to sprinkle any banishing herb that you have in your kitchen on the top. So I would use cayenne, black pepper, garlic to protect, salt to cleanse and to protect. Anything spicy, I would put fucking chili oil on top in small doses so you don't create a grease fire. Maybe put the chili oil on the outside. You know, as much as you can while keeping your candle safe is important.
Yeah.
You can also take those herbs, like if you feel this need to like really fucking load it up, sprinkle it around the black candle. Mm-hmm. And then keep that candle lit as much as possible. Have it be with the intention of protecting those who are protesting, protecting yourself while you protest, protecting those who are being targeted. Mm-hmm. And just keep it lit. Light it while you do that more mundane work, right?
Yeah.
You could also create a candle of amplification for while you're doing that mundane work. You know, that amplification sigil that I was talking about for your, like when you share resources, draw that sigil on a piece of paper and keep it in your hand or put it in your pocket while you call your representative.
Yeah.
You know, like these things are meant to be intermingled and married. Like the magic doesn't exist without the mundane, and the mundane is empowered by the magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Something I was doing is I made a mixture of banishing herbs for my candle, and I have it set on a selenite charging plate to keep the intention really clear. And then I have an offering to the fairies on top of the jar, asking that the fairies bring chaos to the ICE agents.
Excellent. Excellent.
Use those fairies for good. Use those guides.
Yeah. And you can do the same thing in a spell jar. You know, all those same ingredients, seal it with some black wax. Mm-hmm. You could even, like, if there's specific people in your community who you know are undocumented, who you know are out on the front lines, if you have friends who are participating really heavily in mutual aid, write their names and write, you know, mm-hmm. these people are protected. Yeah. Keeping that spell jar with you.
I think also too, calling on the element of fire. So I have been, when I'm lighting my candle, visualizing or imagining the flame really surrounding those of us who are fighting for the rights of people and fighting for empathy, really, mm-hmm. and seeing that fire literally melting ice, mm-hmm. like just creating a barrier, but also melting whatever actions they're trying to do, like almost like they can't get through the barrier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Another one I really love is if you are a Reiki practitioner, if you do Reiki, is sending Reiki down into the planet. So if you have, you know, if you know how to do Reiki at a distance, you can do this directly. Or even if you don't, placing your feet on the floor, placing your hands to your legs, sending Reiki down your legs into the earth and asking that the earth carry it to where it is needed most for healing. So I like to visualize this as the energy going down into the earth and then traveling along the roots of the trees, like the root system, to the protesters and coming up through their legs into whoever wishes to receive it.
I love that. Finally, we have put ice in the freezer, which, if that's the most easy to take out of context sentence in this podcast, that is the sentence that sounds most politically neutral in this episode. If you haven't heard us talk about a freezer spell before, it is basically where you take a container and put right on a piece of paper either a name, in this case the name of an organization, ICE. You could write out Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Fold that piece of paper up, put it in a container. I don't recommend a glass jar because it will burst.
I also recommend, if you're using a Ziploc baggie, double it up because I've had those burst also.
A Tupperware is great, like an old nasty Tupperware that you don't really want.
Maybe some chili oil.
Exactly. Filling that up with those banishing ingredients, that chili oil, that black pepper, that cayenne. I always want to say paprika just because it's red.
Paprika helps speed spells up. So,
well, there you go. So add some paprika, that garlic again, rosemary, anything that you can think of, the spiciest things, the nastiest things. Sometimes I'll put like a nail in there.
Dirt.
I know someone who will pee in their jars.
I was going to say that every time I post a freezer spell, someone's like, I piss in it. And I was like, I love that for you. I'm not putting pee in my freezer, but I love that for you.
That's someone, Linda Miller. May she rest, she would have pissed all over ice. Stick it in the freezer. And what I love about the idea of putting ice in the freezer is that they're like encompassed by ice. So you'll fill the most important thing is that you also fill that up with water, right? It's not just the herbs, and then you make it cold. Right. Forgot that part. And so that to me almost has it like it's imploding on itself, like ice destroying itself.
Yeah, or blocking itself, creating its own obstacles. Almost like the way I see the intention following through is like, you know how cartoon characters, like the cartoon villain is always like getting in his own way? Like the cartoon gun is like exploding the wrong way, or he lights himself on fire or whatever. Like that's the image that I hold when ice is in the freezer. It's just like tripping over themselves.
Yeah, looking fucking stupid.
Which seems to be working so far.
Yeah. I hope that listening to some of these, like I hope that you find something that feels actionable enough to do today. If everyone listening to this did just one of these things, the impact that we could make is immeasurable.
Yeah. And I also think too, you know, creating some space, you know, doing the action, doing the mundane, doing the magic, but also creating some space to find joy, whimsy, and rest. Because this type of infiltration and aggression against our rights, it really relies on us burning out and not being able to sustain momentum, right? Like we always say 2 minutes a day is better than 60 minutes once a month. It's same with activism, right? Like that $1 donation over time is better than, you know, a bunch of donations all at once and then fizzling out. And it's the same way with your time and your energy. So carve out space where you can tap into joy, maybe unplug for a little bit, right? Like you are allowed to stay informed and not watch every traumatizing video that comes across your feed. You are also allowed to unplug for a time and do things that soothe your nervous system. You're also allowed to rest and let other people pick up the charge for a little bit and then come back in, right? Like I've given this analogy before, but a choir can sustain a long note indefinitely because as some people drop off, others pick up, and activism needs to be the same. So don't feel like you need to hold all of this on your shoulders alone. Give yourself space to still find hope, still find joy, still find whimsy, and also rest so that you can fight this fight longer than the opposition can.
And lastly, fuck ice.
Fuck ice.
Do we do it?
I think we did it.
We love you. Stay safe. Take care of yourself.
Take care of your neighbors.
And fight the good fight.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. All our links, from spells to ceremonies to ways to support us, are waiting in the show notes.
We'd love to hear your magic moment of the week. Share it in a review, tag us on socials, or bring it to our Patreon clubhouse at demystifymagic.com.
And remember, you are the magic.
Okay, love you.
Bye.